Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Audrey, and on this channel I'm sharing a lot of different topics related to personal development, self-growth, and things of that nature. And so I wanted to do a mini series about finances because in my last video I kind of talked about the way that I make money as a content creator from home, and people were interested to hear more about our financial goals and how we are planning for the future for our family. So I'm really excited to share this video with you today. So a little bit of background: my name is Audrey and I am 29 years old. My husband, he is 30. We own a house. We're still paying it off, but we do own our own home, and we currently are investing in a few different ways so that we can build our financial future. My husband does work in finance, so he has a lot of knowledge on the topic, and so that's how I have learned everything that I'm going to share with you guys today. And so I hope that this video sheds some light on ways that you can make changes to your financial lifestyle in order to make a better future for you and your family. So to start this video off with a bang, I'm going to share our current 3 financial goals, because it's gonna sound crazy, but it's very exciting, and these are the things that are motivating us to do all of the investments, all of the savings, all the different things that we are currently doing. So first goal is to pay off our mortgage by age 40. So that's in about 10 years. So we bought our house at age 27. So we are on a 30-year fixed mortgage, which means if you pay your monthly payment every month for 30 years, you will pay off your house. That's it. But if you want to pay it faster, you obviously have to pay more than that. So I'm going to talk a bit about why we're doing that, how we're doing that, why it makes sense in this video. But that's goal number 1, is to pay the house off by age 40. Goal number 2 is to save $100,000 for each child so that they can go to college. So that's just our goal. I feel like we might surpass that, honestly, because we are just really good at doing the contributions already for this type of thing. So I'll talk about that in a little while, but that is our minimum goal, is $100,000 per kid. And then our third financial goal is to be able to retire by age 55 if we decide that we would want to retire. So now you're probably thinking, how the heck are they gonna be doing all of these things? So I'm going to share all the ways that we are making our money work for us, all the ways we're investing, and all the ways that we're making our future brighter. So I hope that you're interested in this topic. Give this video a thumbs up if you're excited to learn, and let's jump right in. So I'm actually going to start with the mortgage because that is the most straightforward one to explain. And so basically we have a monthly mortgage payment, and so when you make a mortgage payment, you're paying for the principal, which is the amount of money that the mortgage is for. You're paying your tax, your property tax within that payment, and then you're paying your interest. So when you take a mortgage, you're taking a loan, so you're borrowing money in order to pay for your home. So it's not going to be interest free. It's never interest free, and it depends on what the interest rate was when you signed your mortgage. So hopefully you got a good interest rate when you bought your home. I believe we have a 3.6% interest rate on our mortgage, and it did actually go down a little bit after we bought our house. So we did have an opportunity where we could have refinanced and gotten the lower interest rate, but we would have had to pay money in order to do that. And so we just left it because the interest rate's always going to go up and down, and so you can't really chase that. You just have to hope that the one that you got is pretty good compared to the grand scheme of things. And so 3.6 we figured wasn't too bad. So our monthly payment, like I said, has those 3 components. And so when you pay your mortgage, if you pay, say, $3,000 per month, your mortgage is not going to go down by $3,000 every month. Your money is going to your taxes, and it's going to interest, and so the amount that goes on the principal is actually very minimal. I believe currently we are paying around $2,700 per month, and only $800 goes to the principal. The rest is tax and interest. So now that leads me to the point of, well, how the heck can you pay it off faster? Because if every monthly payment you're barely making a dent into your mortgage, how are you going to make it happen? So the way you make it happen is you pay extra on top of your monthly. So this is not easy for everybody, especially if people are living paycheck to paycheck. We have made decisions in our life so that way we can save money in certain areas, and then we can use the money that we save to pay down certain things to have a better future. So for us, we are paying an additional $2,000 per month to the principal only. So what happens is after you make your monthly payment, you're allowed to pay more and put it directly on the principal. So that payment is what actually is going to make your mortgage go down faster. You're not having to pay extra interest or taxes on that payment. It's exactly the amount of money you put in goes to the principal, and it goes down. And the reason why this is important is because the faster your principal goes down, the less interest you have to pay. So for example, if you have $100 and your interest rate is 5%, you're going to be paying $105. The interest would be $5. But then if your interest rate is still 5% and you only owe $50, that's going to be $2.50. So your interest is going to be $2.50 on the $50. So instead of paying $5 interest every single time, your interest goes down. So in order to save money on interest, you want to make that principal go down even faster. So that's our current strategy right now, is to push for the principal to go down. And the reason why we're doing it now is because our children are young, and so we don't have a lot of expenses for them right now. They're not going to school, they're not doing like extracurricular activities, they are staying home. Like there's nothing big to pay for when it comes to our kids. And so that is why now is an ideal time to be paying down the mortgage, because we have this extra income that is available to us that we can put somewhere to make a difference for the future. So that is our first strategy. The second strategy is to max out all your retirement accounts. So he has 401k through his employer. I had a 403b through my employer, which is basically the same thing, but it's when you work for a school. And then we each have our own IRA, which is an individual retirement account, which you can open on top of the 401k. So in order for you to build your retirement, you need to start early and you need to contribute often, and you need to max it out. If you're not contributing the max amount, then you're losing money. And so we try our best to do that. And so it's kind of one of those things where you have to go against instant gratification, because when you receive your paycheck, when you are contributing to a retirement account or other accounts, they're taking the money out of your paycheck, and so your take home is lower. And so if you're somebody who has instant gratification and wants the biggest paycheck possible, you're probably not going to be contributing the max amount, and that is going to hurt you in the future. So even though your paycheck now will be lower, your future earnings for your retirement is going to be like way better, because it's compounding interest over time. So if you're starting a retirement account at 25 and you're going to be putting money in that until you're 65, that's a huge amount of earnings potential. And so max it out, do what you can to max it out if you can. Like that's where you want to put your money, especially when you're young. Because as you get older, there's more things to pay for. If you have kids, if you need to buy a car, if you need to do other expenses, then there's always going to be something down the road to pay for. So if you're young, don't go drinking. Put your money in your retirement. You will thank yourself later. And so I'm not going to get into too many details about retirement, but just to let you guys know, there is a limit on how much you can contribute to your accounts. And so for a 401k, it's $20,000 and $20,500 if you're under 50. And then if your employer is matching or adding money to that account, it can be up to $60,100. So that's incredible savings and contributions that you can have just for your 401k. And so for your IRA, which is your individual retirement account, you can do $6,000 per year. So we do the max every year. We each put $6,000 into our IRA, and he does the max for his 401k. And what's great is if you have an employer that either matches or gives a high percentage. When I was working in Rutgers, I had a pretty good setup where it was I put in 4%, my employer puts in 8%. So that's free money coming from your employer for your future retirement. So definitely, if you're job searching and you're looking at compensation packages and benefits, look for an employer that either matches or contributes more percentage to your retirement account, because that is just an excellent way to bulk up your account. So the next investment strategy that I want to talk about really quickly and briefly is a health savings account. So an HSA, or a health savings account, is an additional investment account that you can have if you have a high deductible insurance plan. So what that means is when you choose your insurance plan, you may have, say, a plan where your deductible is $3,500. So before insurance kicks in and pays for your medical expenses, you have to pay up to $3,500 from your pocket. But you get the benefit of having a health savings account, whereas somebody who wants a low deductible, maybe they have a lot of health problems, so they're going to need that insurance. They may have a low deductible, and so maybe they pay $1,000 and then insurance starts paying, but they don't get the HSA, or you don't qualify for it. And the reason why an HSA is important is because it is just another place where you can put money that can grow as an investment. So even though it's called a health savings account, there are benefits that are beyond health. So you can basically think of your health savings account as an additional investment account comparable to a 401k. So the money that's in that account can be invested against index funds and can grow over time. And so when you're putting your money in there, a lot of people will save receipts and then get reimbursed for whatever they paid for through their HSA up until their deductible kicks in. So say I go to the dentist and I get a bill of $200. I can take the receipt and I can give it to my health savings account and they will reimburse me $200 right now. Or you can save all your medical receipts and you can actually claim that at any time. So if you would rather earn a higher percentage through the health savings account, don't touch whatever money you put in there now. Leave it alone, and then say you turn 65, put your receipts in, get your money back, and you've already had a higher yield on your account because you didn't touch some of the money. So for like a birth, you might want to use your health savings account. You're not going to want to pay, I mean, I don't know if you'd want to pay the whole $3,500 from pocket, or if you want to use your health savings account for something like that. But for small medical expenses where it's like, oh, I went to the dentist for $200, I have a copay for my doctor for $80, if you can swing it to do it in cash, try not to touch your HSA, because again, that is money that is working for you right now, and you will have better benefits if you wait to touch it later, and you can still have the same benefits. You just have to be good at keeping your receipts. And again, the reason why an HSA is so important is because it is tax deductible. So what happens is you can contribute to your HSA before you pay taxes. And then when you take the money out, if it's for a qualified medical expense, you also don't pay taxes. If you're over the age of 65 and you want to withdraw that money for purposes of paying for whatever in your life that's not a medical expense, you won't have any penalties, but you will still have to pay tax on that if it's not a qualified medical expense. If you're under 65 and you want to take money out of there for a non-medical expense, you would pay a 20% penalty plus income tax, because that would be considered an income to you because you didn't pay tax when it went in. So this is like another tax, it's just like a tax sheltering type of account. So in order to get the maximum gain, you want to try to avoid paying taxes, at least in the early times, because then the money can grow faster and bigger. And again, this account has limits. So if you're an individual, it's $3,650. And if you are a family, it's $7,300 per year that you can contribute along with your employer to your HSA per year. So the next one is the I-529. This is a college savings account, although it should be called just an education account. I think maybe it is, but so this is another investment account where you can put money in and then the money can be withdrawn and used for qualified educational expenses for the beneficiary. So for us, we have an account for Amelia, she's our daughter, and so what we do is every month we contribute money to that account, so that way she has money in there for her college. And then the account, what happens is, just like some of the other accounts, the money is invested against index funds, and that's how the account accumulates interest. So there's no set interest rate for this. Again, you're just investing in the market, so it really depends on how the market is doing, which may or may not be a great thing. But if you're investing money on a long term, it's always better to invest in something where it is going against an index fund, because it is less volatile than if you want to invest in stocks or cryptocurrency, which I'll talk about in a little bit. And so there are some limitations on this account. you can only contribute $16,000 per donor, per beneficiary on an account like this. And so say I want to put $16,000 in 1 year for Amelia, and we wants to do it and grandma wants to do it, that's totally okay. But the total amount of contributions for us in New Jersey that you can put in is about $305,000 total. That doesn't include your interest that you make from investing in the market. So I mean, that's a lot of money. Who's gonna do that? I don't know. But for us, the way we actually invest in this is we paid off our car. And so we had a car payment of $373. And now, since we don't have that monthly car payment, we just moved the car payment from car to investment account for Amelia. So now every month we put a minimum of $373 into her college savings account. And then if she receives money for birthdays, Christmas, or any gifts like that, the money goes straight into her account as well. So that is how we are able to put the money in there. And I know a lot of people start these accounts when their baby turns 1 or when their baby is born, and I highly recommend that, because the longer you are saving for, the more earnings you're going to have and the more money you'll have put away for your children when they're ready to go to college or to use that for other educational purposes. So now a question that we get a lot, because we works in finance, is do you guys invest in stocks? Do you guys have cryptocurrency? Or like, people, maybe they ask like, what stock should I buy? What crypto should I buy? And so I asked Hui about this, and his advice is, if you have to ask that question, don't. If you don't understand it, don't do it, because you might as well just go out and buy a lottery ticket. It doesn't make sense to be just gambling. You're basically gambling when you buy one stock or one cryptocurrency that is going to go up and down like crazy. It just doesn't make sense. And so his advice is to always be investing in index funds. So instead of buying, like, instead of looking for the needle in the haystack, buy the whole haystack, and then you have a better chance of getting the needle. Because if you're just looking for that needle, you're probably not going to find it. And so one of the options you have, if you've already maxed out all your retirement, all your education funds, your health savings account, and you still have money left over that you want to invest, and you're looking for something that makes sense, look for additional after-tax opportunities for investment. So this is like brokerage. So you would put money into a brokerage account, and then that money would be invested into an index fund. The only difference is there's no special tax treatments, so you do pay tax on the money you put in. There's no benefits like your HSA, your 401k, your IRA, stuff like that. So it's just an additional way to make your money work that is not sitting in a savings account. And so don't worry about stocks, don't worry about crypto. If you really have the money to invest, look into something like that. That's after you've exhausted every other avenue, including something he called like a mega backdoor IRA. I have no idea what that means, but he said it's basically like super rich people finding loopholes for investment. So again, just don't be dumb with your money and put it in like one stock. Like, I know that a lot of people, they hear the buzz, like the whole Robinhood thing and the whole GameStop, or if you have a company that's doing really well like Tesla, and you're like, oh, I want to buy Tesla stock, just don't. I know some people hold Apple stock, but if you're holding this stock, what is it doing for you? It's not doing anything. So you're probably losing money. You probably don't know what's going on. Even people who work in the industry and are doing this for a living, they don't even recommend to do it, because it just doesn't make sense. It's not the best option for your money. So don't do it. And then my last thing is to don't spend money on stupid shit. Next video I'm gonna record is gonna be all the ways that you can save money without, and my reasoning is save money by not spending money. So I'm really excited to film that one next, because it is something that I'm very passionate about. And yeah, there's just so many ways that you can get richer by not spending on dumb shit. Just don't, like, how do you think you're gonna get rich if you're just spending your money? You're not. So I'm gonna talk about that in the next video. This was super long and detailed, but I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, that's how we're gonna be meeting our main 3 goals, which is pay the mortgage by 40, $100,000 per kid per college account, and retire by 55, maybe sooner. And when I say retire by 55, our hope is 7 million in retirement. That sounds completely insane, but it is completely possible. If you're maxing out all your accounts with a compounding interest, you can totally do it. So if you have not ever saved for retirement, if this is all new to you, I highly encourage you to take control of your financial future and look into these things, because if you're living paycheck to paycheck and you are the type of person that's instant gratification, I want it now, you're probably going to be suffering in the future, especially since Social Security is probably going to run out by the time you're 65. So that is the end of my TED Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed. Again, I am not the expert. My husband is more of the expert, but everything I told you guys today, I learned from him. If I said something that is incorrect, comment down below, let me know. I'm always open to learning and correcting my mistakes if I said something incorrectly. But if you want more content like this, if you want even more detailed videos on this topic, please let me know. I really do enjoy sharing this, just because taking control of your financial future is a powerful thing. And so anybody can do it. You don't have to be rich to start. You can start with a minimum wage job. You may not have as big gains, but you totally can start thinking about your future. So with that, I will end this video, and I will see you guys in a future video where I'm going to share all the ways you can save money by not spending money. See you then.